Welcome, everyone. This is a lovely small gathering. I love it. Thank you for being part of an experiment. To have an end of Pride gathering, it's the first time we've done it. We think, we'll see how it goes. It's the beginning of something great, I'm sure. So welcome. We are the community we are tonight, and it doesn't matter whether there's a few of us or many of us, and those joining on live stream, welcome. This is an open and affirming, safe, calming, and quiet time. And thank you for setting the mood with the music, you too. It's a time to honor all the emotions of the month of June. And whether you're gay or straight, queer or ally, this is a time to share gratitude for the month, to acknowledge the work that has yet to be done, which there is quite a bit, and to set intentions, whether they're formal or just thoughts about what the year ahead might bring until the next time Pride Month comes around. And if nothing else, we'll have a time of quiet and calm to just spend a few minutes in a busy day or in a busy week to just have some moments to just relax. And be fed by a circle of people who are supportive and caring and loving. And so we'll hold our Pride Month joy and anxieties for each other, and we'll do that today. And I've asked a few of you to help by participating tonight. And Marg, you've agreed to help us with our affirmations, things that I get to say almost every week. And it's so fun to invite others, the privilege of offering these affirmations.
These words do sound wonderfully familiar. You are not just welcome at SSUC. You already belong. Free to be who you are and who you are becoming as we seek to live our highest humanity. No guilt, no requirement to be this way or that, but part of this circle, whether you've been here many times or this is your first. At every gathering, we get specific about our affirmations so that we know precisely the radical welcome and inclusion we intend. At SSUC, we are building a safer place for everyone. All sizes and bodies, all ages, all colors, all genders, all cultures, all abilities, all sexualities, all learning styles and neurotypes, all religions, many or none, all people. Welcome. And now Carl is going to help us light our community candle. Thank you, Carl. It's just right there. No, you can't do it. It's already been tried to burn the place down today, and it didn't work. Thank you, Carl. This candle's a reminder to all of us that we are all lights in the world. As we learn who we are, each of us, which is a lifelong process, none of us are really there. But as we learn who we truly are, as we awaken to the awe and wonder of this world, of our existence and our place in the midst of it all, we can see ourselves as true light. May this candle remind us tonight, if nothing else, if we tune out of anything else, we can focus on that light right there. And help us remember our power and our strength, the light within us. Our inner light to guide the way forward for us and for those who need our light for them to see. So as we've lit that light, we also acknowledge
who we are together for this place, this land, the inheritance that we share, each of us, with our Treaty 6 siblings, our Métis friends, and all who call this land their ancestral or adopted home. We find honor in expressing gratitude and living our commitments to that peace and reconciliation and compassion and to relationship that we're always striving to build. So now that we've done these things, let's just invite more music into our night and have a time to center ourselves, to be present, to clear inner space or to focus on a candle, and just be present. Thank you both. Tonight we're shaping our gathering around these 10 candles that are on the table. They're going to help us offer just a little bit of context to celebrating Pride Month in the context of two extremes and everything in the middle. On one side, the pain and challenge of the need for pride in the first place, and the joy and pleasure of the expression of who we are and what we need to do, and how we can celebrate that on the other, and everything in between, and how they mix and meld and sometimes are indistinguishable from each other. So we're going to start with some candles of pain and challenge. And I think we have, oh yes, Frank, thank you. Please come up here. And if you could read this section, I'll light some candles. As you help us with this time. Thank you, Frank.
We remember the pain and challenge 2S LGBTQIA+ persons have survived thousands of years of brutality and persecution. We have been hunted, burned, tortured, excommunicated, killed, and labeled as heretics, sinners, demon-possessed, and worse. We survive because we share a common story and gain strength from sharing that story. One generation tells the next, and the strength tells the next, and the strength of uniqueness. Blessedness and sacredness shines through. So let's not forget. Let's not leave out even the most painful parts of the story. We light this first candle of pain and challenge to remind us of the fear of living in unsafe times and locations, entering unsafe places, and encountering unsafe people. Let's remember all those who have been victims of violence, injured, beaten, or murdered because of who they are. Let's remember those who have died of neglect, of self-harm, and suicide. Let's remember all the ways that internal struggle, misunderstanding, exclusion, hate speech, misguided political legislation, and rejection hurts and harms us all.
An invitation now. You may have grabbed a piece of paper or two on your way in from the table at the back, and you're welcome to use those. You're also welcome to speak into the room during this time. We're just going to take a moment and contemplate the places of pain this year. During Pride or challenges along the way. Again, we're a mixture of queer, gay, straight, allies, all together here in this place. And so the challenges affect us all. What were some of those? What is the work yet to be done? What are the things that have challenged us this Pride? What pain, what challenge, what regrets? What are those things for you? And because that's not often something we want to speak aloud, you're invited to, or if you want to write something, then I invite you to come and place your written thing into this box where no one will read it, but a time of ritual to offer that pain and challenge to this time. We'll just take a few moments. if we could say a prayer, offer an intention, or summarize all that of that pain and challenge, we could say that all of that might inspire a light. The light of our commitment to justice and love to help dispel fear, to bring peace and safety to those in danger, healing and justice to those who need it, and inclusion and community for us all. So as we light one more candle for all the pain and challenge that we've added to the box, we ask that our work result in not simply acceptance, but liberation. The freedom to be, to thrive, to claim the power of our identities, to transform the world that needs it. Kim is going to help us light some candles of joy and pleasure. I think we're ready for that now. Yes.
Do a lily. Two SLGBTQIA+ persons have existed in every time and place, in every spiritual tradition, in every generation, and in every culture. We persist and continue to transform ourselves and the world for the better. We take up and continue the legacy of sharing queer joy. Let's remember with pride. We light this first candle of joy and pleasure to remind us of all those who can express themselves, their identities, their love, and their lives with courage and pride. Let's remember the communities of welcome and affirmation, the safe and accepting family encouragement, the safe and accepting family members, our chosen families, are places of refuge and rest that help foster support, encouragement, safety, and justice. Let's remember those who have found and are finding their most authentic identities, have come to know themselves more truly, and those who are seeking the courage to do so. Let's remember those who lead us in expressing queer joy, in living fearlessly, and in affirming that the 2SLGBTQIA+ community has much wisdom to teach the world.
All right, another invitation then. What are the places of gratitude for the year, for the month of June? What are the joys experienced? What also might you hope for or intend for the year ahead? What in your own life, in the world? So gratitudes, joys, intentions. And when you've had time to place your thought on a piece of paper, or 2, or 5, or 10, you may come and put them in the box. spirits help us shine brightly for ourselves and for those who need to see it most. In times of pain and success, both, we can see hope for better days. So may the light of our hope grow strong in our deepening journeys, and our love shine through for all to see. So we light this last candle. There's lots of rainbows in this room, but here's another. With the lights of our hopes, our challenges, our dreams and expectations, and the pain we carry with us, all mixed together, all lit here for us to honor. I want to share a story with you. This is a story of Joseph of Genesis. I'm grateful to J. Mass III for inspiring this story, and I tell you this in gratitude to their queering of this old story. So let me introduce you to Joseph of Genesis. Joseph, a.k.a. Josephine, a.k.a. Joe. The favorite child of Jacob, Father Jacob gifted his child a resplendent colorful coat. Coat? Gown? Princess dress? Well, whatever it was, Dad must have really loved his child because he chose this gift for his child, and Joseph/Josephine/Joe wore it with pride. Now, when Joe's brothers saw them in this amazing flowing dress, in their glory, they became enraged and jealous. Of the gown, maybe. Of preferential treatment from Dad, most probably. We hate what happened next. We hate and despise the beating that Joe received from his brothers. We hate and despise that they smothered that colorful dress in one more color, the blood from Joe's swollen and beaten veins. And worse, they told Dad that our hero Josephine was dead, so that he would never come looking, so that Joe would never see their brothers or parents again. And once they sold Joe as a slave into Egypt, and once they stole Joe from the only fields that this genderqueer child ever knew, those fields dried up, dry as a bone, dried up in drought as arid as the scorched earth. And so the animals had no food, and the people had no food. And the kin of Jacob and Joe and all those brothers began to die. So Joe's family, when only ribs showed where once there was belly fat, they got so desperate that they walked to Egypt. And what must they have discovered when they got there? You see, in Egypt, people had really seen and discovered Joe. Not as an outcast, not as Jacob's weird kid, but they saw Josephine in their totality. There in Egypt, with the great inner gifts that was Joe's real identity, they worked themselves up to a position of great respect and power. And in Josephine's magnificence, their royal standing, their exalted position, now matched what was felt on the inside. That inner confidence now matched that beautiful old princess dress. Joe's family, when they encountered this strong, powerful self-confidence, couldn't even recognize the Joseph they knew. They didn't see in that sacredness, in that divinity, Joe's true being. So the group of brothers, they petitioned this presumed stranger on bended knee to see if there would be mercy enough to grant them grain that they needed to survive. And Joseph/Josephine, their love broke the darkness of resentment, offered them more than they could have ever hoped. And for the first time, at that moment, those brothers truly saw their sibling as their true self standing before them in all their splendor and glory. And it was Joseph of Genesis, aka Josephine, aka Joe, that saved them from starvation. So we claim this story for every queer kid that is told that they are other, that they are less than. We tell this story for every person who is told that their identity and their faith are not compatible. We tell this story for any and all of us who need to hear it, that it is our truest and most authentic selves in all its splendor and colorful beauty. That is exactly the self that we recognize as sacred, meaningful, important to this world. Enough even to save it. So may we hold this story close and let it be for us a foundation of our journeys, new or old, pain and pleasure, joy and challenge. And so, what do? We wrap. Well, we take hold of all of those challenges and joys, and we keep them safe. We lock them up. Keep that key safe. And not only that, but we wrap them in the beauty and the magnificence of who we are. We wrap them safe and sound. Not in just anything, but in the uniqueness of our true selves. Kept safe, kept supported. That's our work to do. Steve is going to help us as we're ready to change this space and maybe enjoy a few treats afterwards. There's some cookies and sweet things. There's some pink lemonade because that just seemed right to me. I don't know why. An end of Pride blessing for us that we'll share. May the parade route rise to meet us, and the world rise to accept and embrace us.
May the rainbow of love enfold us.
May our fluidity never be hindered.
May our pronouns always be supported and our dead names forgotten.
May those we invite into our life remain loyal.
May our chosen family lift us up and catch us when we need it.
May we be able to support and strengthen others when they need it.
And until we meet again, may we remember that we are loved and affirmed, sacred and whole.
May it be.